He was in his own problem for 38 years. Think about it. And his own was also a process. You know what they processed for? They wanted to have a record. They wanted to have a testimony that there was somebody who suffered being lame for 38 years. And then Jesus came and delivered him. That was what they were processing in the word of the Spirit. That this man, this is the record he's going to create on earth. That he will be in a state that it will be tough on him for 38 years. Then Jesus will come and glorify himself by raising him out of that state, that the world may know that Jesus is the one who saves, and that the world may know that indeed he has power to do all things. That was the process. And maybe as I'm telling you now about this crippled man, many people are still talking about him now in many other churches around the world, because that was the purpose of that happening that happened. But your own process is not as tough as that man's own. But you say that you are suffering. Maybe your husband is not treating you well. Maybe your wife is not treating you well. Maybe your salary is not enough to take care of your needs. You are working too hard to get things. You're not finding it easy. Maybe that's what you are going through. But none of these things can be compared to a man who was in a condition that cannot walk or do any work. They even carried him to the side of the pool where he can jump into the water and be healed. But he had no power to jump into the water because he can't move himself. Before he will know what to do, somebody who can move would have jumped in and collect the healing. So when Jesus came and asked him, "Do you want to be well?" he said, "I don't have anyone to put me in the water when the water is moved by the angel. I don't have anyone to help me." Because he cannot carry himself. None of you is suffering like that. You may be complaining, but none of you is going through that. There are some people that are disabled. When you see their own kind of disability, you will ask questions. What kind of a life? Have you seen a man that is trapped in a baby's body? An old man, but he's trapped. The way he was when he was a baby is the way he has remained. He refused to grow, and he's living. I read in the Bible that all things work together for good to those who love God. So even if what is happening to you looks bad, in the end, it will still be good because you love God. For the word of God cannot be broken. The way it has been written is the way it stands. He said all things. So even if you are seeing that this thing is bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, in the end, you still have a reason to glorify God because God knows how to turn things so that His name can be glorified. All things, not some things. The only thing you have to fight to do is to make sure you love God. That your heart is with God. Your mind is with God. You stay with God. You still trust Him. Even if you find yourself in error, you still will trust Him. Then even if you find yourself in sin too, you still should trust Him.